in my Ask Dr. Sean segment. So check this question out right here. Listen, here's the question. My church member asked me to loan her money. There was a problem already. And then stopped talking to me when I told her no. She quoted a scripture and told me I'm supposed to be like Jesus and give to the poor. Here's the question. Should I loan her the money? All right, here's the answer. Hell no. Don't you dare loan her the money. If you don't have the money to give somebody, especially in the pandemic when most people don't have jobs, then you can't hurt yourself to help other people. And let me tell you why I'm really saying no. Because anybody who would manipulate you and guilt you into giving them something is somebody you don't need to give anything to. It's a master manipulator who makes you feel bad for what they're trying to do to you. And here's my advice to people who try to use the scriptures to justify their pettiness or their greed or their ideology and position. First of all, I'm the last guy you want to quote a scripture to because I happen to be able to read Greek and Hebrew and Latin. And if you can't read and write any of those, you don't know what the hell the scriptures are saying. You just know what an interpreter told you it was saying. But here's a better answer, because the person said that they wanted the questioner to act like Jesus. Here's what you should have said to them. I am acting like Jesus. The Jesus who went into the temple and ran out the tax collectors and the money changers and whipped them and kicked them out the temple. Yeah, that's acting like Jesus too. Jesus didn't give everybody everything they wanted when they wanted it. Sometimes Jesus says no. Trust me. Sometimes God says no. God don't say yes to everything. Let me tell you something. I wish you would give them that money. Don't give the money to anybody who would manipulate you into doing it. You know, I might have said yes to this question if the person who had asked you for the money, you know, had said, fine, I'm sorry you can't help me, but God bless you. But somebody trying to make you feel bad, don't give them that money. All right, next question. Well, this is a good one. After being stuck in the house with my husband for the past 4 months, I realize now that I'm not in love with him and I want to move on. Here's the question. Is this just a phase or should I call it quits? That's a question, isn't it? So it's a difficult question, but here's my answer to the question. My answer is stop rushing to an answer. Stop rushing to an answer and take some time to really understand how you feel, because I'm getting the sense that while you think you know how you feel, you might not be quite as sure. In the same way you plan to get in this marriage, at least I hope you did, and maybe if you didn't, that might be why you're trying to get out of it. But anyway, let's assume you did. The same way you plan to get in this marriage, you should probably plan to get out of it. Yes, you should. Now is the time for you to do two important things. Here's the first one. If this is your question, sit down, because you're going to need to sit down for this part. Tell your husband. Tell your husband. Tell him the truth. Don't have him walk around in the house thinking everything is okay and running your bathwater and rubbing your toes and your heart is somewhere else. Respect him enough and respect yourself enough to be honest with him about where you are. He may be upset, but in the end, he'll appreciate the fact that you gave him the truth. And now that the truth is out there, you might discover that that's exactly how he feels too. He might feel as if he can't wait to get away from your ass either, too, I should say. Or you might discover that he does love you more than you think he does, and he's willing to make whatever changes needs to be made to make it work. But don't just rush to a decision. Sometimes life puts before us a question, not because the answer is the important part, but the search for the answer is the thing that blesses us. So again, just like you plan to get into the marriage, plan to leave it. Start going to counseling after you've talked to him, told him the truth. Find someone else, a third party, to begin to process your way out and to help you process your feelings, because you could just be dealing with trauma from being quarantined. Many things could be going on with you that have absolutely nothing to do with the marriage or with him. It could just be you. So don't rush to a decision. Sit in the question, put a process together to answer the question, and I'll be praying for you all the way, believing that when it's all said and done, you'll end up where you're supposed to be. But I got to emphasize this again. Tell your husband. Don't make him look like a fool believing that something is true when you know it's not. All right, here's the next one. Oh, this is a good one too. Are you ready for this? I want to propose to my girlfriend, but I can't afford a ring to give her the life. I can't afford the ring, and I can't afford to give her the life that she deserves. But she's ready for marriage. Here's the question. Should I wait until I'm financially stable before I propose, or should I risk losing the love of my life? Now, what's interesting about this, a few weeks ago, maybe months ago, I had on a couple during the Love series who had this big idea about if you should only get with somebody if you're financially stable, and if you don't have any money, don't even consider it. And while I listened intently and found things in the conversation I could use, I disagreed with that at my core. I think love and money should have little to nothing to do with each other. If you love somebody, you love them. You're going to have to work out the money part, but that should have nothing to do with your ability or capacity to express how much you love somebody. And here's the important part of this question. The question that didn't ask me about a marriage that they're already in or a wedding that they have a date for. You asked me about proposing to someone. I have to tell you this emphatically. Look me in my eye as I look you in yours. Don't let money stop you from declaring publicly the love you have for someone who's been loving you all this time. A proposal should not be connected to your checkbook. Now, maybe you have to wait for the wedding or you have to wait for the marriage. That might be true. But to declare to someone that I'm yours and I want you to be mine monogamously, only yours and only mine, and here is a symbol of that, don't deny her that. She's earned that. I don't even know her, but if she's a Black woman, I know she's earned it. Give it to her. And you guys can work out the rest. Don't let capitalism and American craziness convince you that because you don't have the money, you can't have a great marriage. You can. You just have to work harder at it and be more intentional. So young man, don't lose the love of your life because you're anxious about something you believe that you should have at this stage of your life. And don't think you're a failure because you don't have it. Trust me when I tell you this. There are moments and stages in my life when I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, as they say. But I still knew who I was. And I still understood that I had something to offer. So get that girl a ring. It ain't got to be a fancy ring. Get her a placeholder. If she loves you, she knows your situation. She's been with you a while. She knows what you don't have. But get her a ring, get her something so that she will know how you feel about her. You can always get another ring. You can always get married, have the wedding when you're ready. But if you don't, and she walks away, it won't be her fault. It'll be yours. And you will be the dummy. Let's go to another one. All right, listen to this. Oh, this is a good one. Listen to this one. Oh, let me take a break. I need a break. I'm gonna take a break. It's called The Break. I'm taking it. Right back. Welcome back, everybody. It's hot in here. Maybe it's the questions that are raising the temperature of the heat. We're doing another installation of Ask Dr. Sean. Here is a great question. Here it is. I've been single for 7 years. I feel like God answers all my prayers, except my prayers regarding love in my love life. Am I praying hard enough, Dr. Sean? And how do I pray for love? Well, my answer should be, when you figure this out, let me know. But my secondary answer is this. Look, you get it when you're ready, and you get it when it's ready for you. Sometimes the problem isn't that you're not ready. Sometimes the problem is who you're waiting for isn't ready for you yet. And when you're religious and when you're faithful, you believe, you ought to be able to pray for it and have it, name it and claim it, and it's yours. But love don't work like that. And maybe instead of asking God why the prayers aren't working, maybe we need to just sit alone with ourselves a little while longer and figure out what is it about us that still need to be worked out. Because maybe God is protecting you from something, not keeping you from something. Teach, Dr. Sean. Maybe God understands something about your future that you and I don't know yet. And maybe we need to trust that. I mean, since we're praying, right? Why not trust the God we're praying to? And instead of praying for love, pray to manifest love, that it becomes your reason for being, that it exudes and flows out of everything you put your hand on. because I believe that if we can achieve that goal, then finding and getting love will be the least of our problems. But trust it, it'll happen. Wait for a season or a couple of seasons or 10 seasons. But before it's over, I have the audacity to believe that love finds a way. It'll make its way to you when you're ready. All right, I'm done with that. This one is a doozy. Listen to this one. I caught my boyfriend cheating during quarantine. It gets better. We don't live together, and he told me he was quarantining alone. Turns out he's been living with another woman for 2 months. Wait, I gotta laugh at that. Here's the question. I can't believe this question. Is it wrong that I still want to be with him? And should I walk away? Let's deal with the first question first. Is it wrong that I still want to be with him? Yes, it is wrong that you still want to be with him. Let me tell you why it's wrong. Because while you were quarantining in your house, being faithful to the monogamous relationship you thought you had, and while you thought he was at his house quarantining, and y'all were FaceTiming on the phone and texting and sexting and doing all the stuff y'all were doing, he was living with another woman, laying up in her arms and calling her sweetie. He was tasting her nectar. He was committed to cheating and lying to you. And then you want to ask me, is it wrong that you want to be with him? Not only is it wrong, it's insane. It's absolutely crazy. And don't tell me it's hard to cut my feelings off. You know, once you love somebody, it's hard to cut your feelings off. How about you cut your mind on? Cut your mind on. Scriptures say you are to love the Lord thy God with all of thy heart, all of thy soul, and with all of thy mind. Have your mind, run it past your mind and not just your heart. Because I'm thinking if you cut your mind back on, your mind to tell you that it don't make no damn sense to want somebody who spent the last 2 or 3 months lying to you, cheating on you, disrespecting you, totally disavowing any exchange of fidelity and honesty that he may have purported in conversations the two of you may have had in the sweet dark hours of the night. Because while he was saying that to you, she was in the shower. Cut your mind back on and respect yourself enough to tell yourself, if I have to spend the next 5 to 10 years by myself, I'd rather be alone than be connected to somebody who makes me feel this way. And if you can't summon that kind of courage, then the question you should have asked me is not, is it wrong that I want to be with him? But you should have asked me, Dr. Sean, what the hell is wrong with me that I don't respect myself enough to not want to be with him? Because this ain't about him now. He's proven who he is. He's shown what he's capable of. He's shown the mendacity and the depth of his ability to conjure a lie. And he's apparently pretty good at it. This is about you. All that love, all that black girl magic, right? All that stuff we say on social media. Come on, let's see it. But you put on your big girl panties, stiffen up your back and lift up your head and remember who you are. You are not somebody's fool. You're not to be played with. You're not to be cheated on. You're not to be lied to. You are not to be disrespected. And you demanded everybody in your space respects what you had to go through to be who you are. And the first person who should respect it most of all happens to be you. So that's what I need you to do. I need you to remember that. So listen, man. Yeah, it's time to walk away. And that's okay. And that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You did exactly what you knew how to do, and that's exactly what he did. The key is not just leaving, but learning before you leave. So what I want you to do is to ask yourself, what did this teach me? What did I do to give him the impression that he could even get away with this, let alone attempt to do it? What did I do that I was not able to see it and understand it? How did I attract this kind of person into my life, into my space? What was I putting out to the world? Learn before you leave. Learn what it is you did. Learn what it is you were putting out. Learn what it is you're attracted to so that you don't date the same person again with a different name. And then, yes, leave. All right, my last one. Am I out of time? I'm out of time, man. I don't have any more time. But anyway, I enjoyed tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I want to thank Ernest Fenton, attorney Ernest Fenton, for being a part of the program tonight and walking us through his marvelous book and his great advice about estate planning and making sure that we get our generations ready, that we plan 100 years into the future for what it is we have to offer and leave behind. We had some great questions tonight. Make sure you send me more questions for Ask Dr. Sean. You can do hashtag Ask Dr. Sean and send it to the Foxhole social media, wherever we are, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you can send them to me directly at the handle you see in the lower third at the bottom of the screen. Send us your questions and I'd love to answer them. I love joining you every night. I love having you be a part of my life, and I pray that you will continue to let me be a part of yours.